morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Josh Poet with you. Happy 4th of July to those here in the United States and around the rest of the world. Well, happy freedom to you. If you're not in a state of freedom, we hope that you're having a chance to achieve freedom at some point in time. Got a lot of things in the show I'm going to talk about. Certainly we're going to deal with the issue of 4th of July and those kind of matters, as well as inform you and keep you up to date of what's going on in the world. On the Dreamspell calendar, today is a planetary day. It's a yellow day as well. Yellow, planetary human. Yellow is the color of ripening. Planetary tone is tone number 10, as you can see from the two bars here. Each one of these represents 5. And the human, yellow symbol right here, is the Daykin, and it is a human is all about free will. Free will, and the guide for today right here, the sun, is about universal fire. Altogether, today is the yellow planetary human guided by the sun. The phrase for today is, I perfect in order to influence, producing wisdom. I seal the process of free will with the planetary tone of manifestation. I am guided by the power of universal fire. I am a galactic activation portal. Enter me. On the Gregorian calendar, it is Monday, July 4th, 2011. And if it is your birthday out there today, well, happy birthday to you. All right, we're going to move right along here. Dirk's got news and information for the 4th of July. Dirk, over to you.
Next on the Cosmic News Network, the Cosmic News with Dirk Bradshaw.
Hey there. We just want to wish you and all your loved ones a happy 4th of July. Make sure it's nice and safe. And we'd also want to give you, of course, a friendly free hint. Get up high. Go up to the mountains. Go up to the Griffith Park Observatory around 6 o'clock and watch all the fireworks take place all over Los Angeles. A little hint from us here, your friends at freeinla.com. Hey there, America. Happy birthday from us here at the Cosmic News Network. And you look beautiful for, I don't know, what are you, way over 200, but you don't look a day over 150, if you ask America. You are beautiful, especially in the hips. But for your birthday, unfortunately, we've decided to give you a big spoonful of dark oozing truth. That's right. Happy 4th of July. Here, open this gift first. It's from us here at the Cosmic News Network.
Throughout recorded history, mankind has dreamt of building the perfect society, an empire that might somehow satisfy the needs of every man. An ancient legend casts the shadows of one such society that is said to have existed long ago. 2,500 years ago, the Greek philosopher Plato set down a dialogue called the Critias. He recounted the story of an ancient Greek poet and statesman named Solon. Solon had journeyed to Egypt in search of wisdom to help the government of his beloved Greece. The Greeks had been beset with factions and troubles, so Solon took counsel from the priests of the city of Sais. An old priest told him, "O Solon, Solon, you Greeks are never anything but children. There is no old opinion handed down among you, nor any science that is white with age." The old priest then proceeded to tell him the story of the lost city of Atlantis. In the centuries that would follow, scholars and researchers have debated whether Plato's Atlantis was intended to be an account of real history or simply an allegorical myth. Some even suggest that Atlantis was really the antediluvian world, the wicked society destroyed by the wrath of God in the great flood of Noah. In the 20th century, Plato's account was further supported by Masonic philosopher Manly P. Hall. Hall claimed that Atlantis had once been a vast and mighty empire that extended to the whole world, a philosophic commonwealth of nations that one day was destined to be rebuilt. But who would rebuild it? And exactly who was Manly P. Hall?
Manly P. Hall was probably the most highly esteemed occultist and Freemason of the 20th century.
He understood the secrets of the ages long before he ever joined the Masons.
Was really the foremost authority on the occultist side of Freemasonry, the deep, dark side of Freemasonry, the one that most Masons never ascend to.
I can't really think of anybody close to him.
Manly P. Hall was one of the leading people within this whole other world that we talk about.
Hall authored over 200 books and is said to have given some 8,000 lectures on ancient philosophy. He is perhaps most remembered for his contribution to the mysterious Brotherhood of Masonry. Upon his death in 1990, the Scottish Rite Journal, a Masonic publication, noted that he was often called, quote, Masonry's greatest philosopher. Among his teachings was that contained in Masonry and all the secret orders was the ancient wisdom of lost Atlantis. Hall wrote that for more than 3,000 years, secret societies had been laboring to create a background of knowledge necessary to the establishment of an enlightened democracy among the nations of the world. According to Hall, these societies could be traced back to ancient Egypt and had for centuries known of a secret place hidden from the eyes of common men, a place that would one day be revealed. In the 17th century, as settlers were colonizing the New World, Sir Francis Bacon, the leader of secret societies in England, set down his classic work, The New Atlantis. While archaeologists and treasure hunters have searched the globe looking for the lost continent, 400 years ago, Bacon, like many of his contemporaries, believed that Atlantis was America itself.
Well, Bacon, to me, was really fundamental in the American colonizational scheme and its connection to the New Atlantis concept. He was trying to lay a foundation for what could be accomplished in the New World.
While the Atlantis of Plato was a mighty empire, known for the philosophy of its kings, Bacon would write of a nation governed by scientific achievement, filled with marvels and wonders never before seen.
Bacon was talking about this new nation, talking about submarines, talking about unimaginable weapons of war, talking about flying machines and tall buildings. How did he come into possession of this knowledge?
Did Francis Bacon outline the course of the New World before its time? And if so, by what power was he inspired to do so? While there are no states or cities that bear his name, his mysterious influence has compelled some to call him the real and true founder of America.
His founding of America was really through other people who were following his work, following the program he'd laid out.
Bacon was the head of Freemasonry and Rosicrucianism.
He had a huge influence through being the chief of the Rosicrucian fraternity at the time. He had a huge influence on the birth of modern Freemasonry. And many of those Rosicrucians actually went into Freemasonry at that time to lift it up to its new level. And Freemasonry has a major influence on the founding of America.
While many of the early settlers came to work the land for the cause of religious freedom, there were with them secret societies who came to the New World with another agenda.
Secret societies came to America shortly after the Pilgrims arrived, and they were sent by a man named Sir Francis Bacon.
You get this very strange mixture of people, many of whom understood even then the advantage, spiritually and otherwise, to having secret orders.
Unless you understand the influence of the occult societies on the development of America, on the establishment of America, on the course of America, why you get completely lost studying our history.
And they were the ones through which this work was being put into operation in England, in Europe, and eventually in America and the world.
So that America then could be used to lead the world into the philosophic empire. You understand that America was founded by Christians as a Christian nation. However, there were always those people on the other side who wanted to use America, use our military power and our financial power to establish enlightened democracies throughout the world and restore lost Atlantis.
Yeah, maybe Bacon had it right. Maybe Atlantis is not something yet to occur, but maybe it's occurring right now in America.
In his lifetime, Sir Francis Bacon referred to himself as the herald of a new age. He promoted a new universal order for the whole world. Can this be what early American founders referred to with the words Novus Ordo Seclorum, the new order of the ages? And does this vision affect America today?
When our founders declared a new order of the ages, they were acting on an ancient hope that is meant to be fulfilled.
As America marches forward, spreading democracy throughout the globe, is she merely promoting freedom or fulfilling an ancient plan? Is she following a course planned for centuries by men who believe she is chosen for a secret destiny?
Now, the name of that piece was The Secret Mysteries of America's Beginning. And it's a whole series up to 17. I think you can actually see the full-length version of it online. So look it up if you want to see the whole thing. You'll eventually get it all here, all 17 pieces, on the Cosmic News Network over the next year. But if you have to watch it and you got to see the rest of it, go online right now and check it out for yourself. We encourage that kind of behavior here at the Cosmic News Network.
Start each and every weekday morning with Joshua Poet, First Contact Radio. This is a news and radio show unlike anything you've ever heard. Our stories are very provocative and you'll never hear anything like this. Mainstream television.
What if our government was responsible for some of the greatest crimes against this nation? Would you really want to know? These are big questions, but these questions deserve answers. It's time to demand the truth.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of people.
9/11 was an inside shot. Kennedy was killed by the CIA. Jimmy Carter saw UFO. Answers to secrets you need to know. So wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. The evidence is overwhelming. Step past your fear, take a look. Illuminati lies keep growing, but they're illusion from your eyes. And wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. What would our founding fathers say if they were alive today? Must be turning in their graves. Redcoats are coming, Big Brother's watching. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. opposite shore will be ready to ride and spread the alarm through every Middlesex village and farm. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. When a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Patriots arise. It's time to demand the truth.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk. Thank you very much. This is Josh. This is the UFO News, and we are back. Okay. A few technical glitches. You probably didn't even realize they went on, but I went to push a button, and the whole kit and caboodle here just shut off. Have these little glitches every now and then. Okay, here we go. Starting off, we've got, this comes from The Sun, sundaysun.co.uk. Surprising message from a UFO conference speaker. It says here, UFO sighting in London this week had the unexplained in the headlines once again. But is there really somebody out there? Mike Kelly reports. A UFO conference held in the Northeast yesterday boasted an impressive list of speakers and some that had a surprising message. The general public's perception of these ufologists is that they are nutters with too much time in their hands. However, those at the BUFORA conference in Newcastle, BUFORA stands for the British UFO Research Association, take the subject seriously and display a level of cynicism and scientific analysis that might surprise those who choose to dismiss them out of hand. There is no slavish belief in little green men with oversized heads descending on this planet in saucer-shaped ships. While they believe there is something out there, the vast majority of the sightings are just in the mind of those who have witnessed them, and one of the reasons, according to speaker Andy Roberts, is fear. Although sightings of disc-shaped objects date back to Middle Ages, it was in the post-Second World War period they became a worldwide obsession. It was following the first highly publicized sighting in June 1947 that the term flying saucer was coined, based on quotes by witness Kenneth Arnold describing the shape of the objects he saw as a saucer, disc, or ply plate. The timing of the sighting and the reaction to it, according to Tony, was not coincidental, with the trauma of the war fresh in their minds and the age of the atomic bomb having recently begun. Fear was a big factor. People were looking for beings either to save them or destroy them, said Tony. Interestingly, while there have been some highly publicized hoaxes over the decades, surveys reveal only a very small percentage of sightings are actually made up. People are convinced they saw something. More often than not, the sighting can be explained by natural phenomena like lenticular clouds, balloons, military craft, a common occurrence in the Northeast because of the test flights over the North Sea and the late Chinese lanterns. There's been a craze for letting off Chinese lanterns to celebrate birthdays and weddings, said Andy. The rice paper lanterns and the candle inside can float for miles on the wind. Then the candle goes out. It results in optical illusion that the object had raced away at incredible speed. Then there are the earth lights believed to be produced by tectonic strain in the minor fault lines, so they are literally generated by the earth. They appear in many colors, shapes, and sizes. Though the basketball-sized, globular orange variety seems most common, most sightings occurs at night when some lights can be seen for miles around. They are reported to be able to move against the wind and reach extraordinary speeds. The terrestrial nature means that though many sightings are sporadic, there are some locations where they appear relatively often, for example, in the Pennines in England. However, not all can be explained away. Andy's book, UFO Down, investigates alleged crash of alien spacecraft in the Berwyn Mountains of North Wales. It's said to be the British Roswell, explained Andy. In July 1947, a spaceship allegedly crashed and its occupants were captured, making the word Roswell synonymous with UFOs. Well, there's more to this article. The link will be up at our page. You can go check it out. Here's a story from the Examiner. It says, Norwegian UFO watcher documents massive UFO sighting. Tracy Pierce says it is early in the morning of Independence Day in the United States, and already the UFO reports are pouring in. On the evening before the 4th of July, Norwegian UFO watcher, who goes by YouTube by the username Mr. UFO Watcher 1, spotted what appears to be a massive UFO of 5 UFOs flying in large formation. Fortunately, the witness to the sighting was able to capture the event on video. You can launch the video on the left side of the page by clicking the link or following this. Okay, so let's go check out this link here of what he saw. Here we go. And play. There you go. You see the lights over here? There we go. 1, 2, 3. Dog seems to know they're there. There's the 5th one catching up to it. Alright, so Mr. UFO Watcher 1, that link is going to be available. You can check it out. FirstContactRadio.com, right hand side of the page, UFO News. Give us some time. It'll be like an hour after the show here. Everything will be posted up. Now, these next couple of stories here, they all deal with astronaut Edgar Mitchell. First one here says, Edgar Mitchell, former astronaut, sued by NASA for trying to sell Apollo camera. This was dated 1st of July. It said the space shuttle isn't the only piece of NASA equipment that's making headlines. The space agency has filed suit against Apollo 14 astronaut Edgar Mitchell in an attempt to reclaim a 40-year-old camera. A federal lawsuit filed Wednesday in Miami claims that Mitchell, the lunar module pilot and 6th man to walk on the moon, illegally tried to auction off a camera he used during the 1971 lunar mission. Defendant Edgar Mitchell is a former NASA employee who is exercising improper domain and control over a NASA data acquisition camera, NASA alleged in court documents obtained by the Palm Beach Post. All right, now we move on. Edgar Mitchell to President Obama. End truth embargo on UFOs and extraterrestrial presence. This was in 2009, in which he said on Monday at the National Press Club, Dr. Edgar Mitchell called upon the new Democratic administration under President Barack Obama to end a 6-decade-long truth embargo imposed by elements within the United States government and confirm to the American people the reality of an extraterrestrial non-human intelligence engaging the human race. All right, it goes on a little bit more there. And last, right here, Dr. Edgar Mitchell admits alien cover-ups, contact and government cover-ups. Former NASA astronaut and moonwalker Dr. Edgar Mitchell, a veteran of the Apollo 14 mission, has surprisingly claimed aliens exist. And he says extraterrestrials have visited Earth on several occasions, but the alien contact has been repeatedly covered up by governments for 6 decades. Dr. Mitchell, 77, said during a radio interview that sources at the space agency who had contact with aliens described the beings as little people who took strange to us. He said supposedly real-life ETs were similar to the traditional image of a small frame, large eyes, and head. Chillingly, he claimed our technology is not nearly as sophisticated as theirs, and had they been hostile, he warned, we would have been gone by now. Dr. Mitchell, along with Apollo 14 Commander Ellen Shepard, holds the record for the longest ever moonwalk at 9 hours, 17 minutes following their 1971 mission. That's a lot longer than Michael Jackson's ever done the moonwalk, right? I know, but these are the jokes, folks. Okay, and last but not least here, let's listen to Edgar Mitchell in his own words right here.
believers in UFOs, the truth isn't out there, it's in there. So they're calling on President Obama to end what they insist is a government cover-up of the existence of extraterrestrials.
Will you release these records? Will you release all documents?
Documents they claim exist and prove there is life in outer space.
President Obama is awfully busy these days.
I know he is.
You think he has time for this?
Well, let's say, I would say that the fact that we are not alone in the universe is one of the more important aspects of our time.
Former Apollo astronaut Edgar Mitchell, the sixth man to walk on the moon, told the National Press Club he's convinced.
But there is convincing proof that's going to convince the entire world.
That is correct. That is what we're trying to open up.
We're about to go out and do our little hoax.
Equally committed are UFO skeptics. Earlier this year, 2 skeptics set off weather balloons that people in New Jersey mistook for alien spacecraft. The pranksters showed up on the local news, pretending to be eyewitnesses.
And all of a sudden we see these lights literally zip over our car.
They later admitted it was all a hoax and paid a $250 fine for creating a disturbance.
Again, we're not trying to prove or disprove anything, but it's okay to be skeptical.
Be open-minded counter UFO believers, pointing to former White House Chief of Staff and former Obama transition team head John Podesta.
It's time to find out what the truth really is that's out there.
It's a question President Obama has fielded before.
The 3 astronauts of Apollo 11 who went to the moon back in 1969 all said that they believe there is life beyond Earth. Do you agree?
You know, I don't know, and I don't presume to know. What I know is there is life here on Earth, and that we're not attending to life here on Earth.
It depends on what these aliens were like, and whether they were Democrats or Republicans.
Oh, ho, ho. Isn't that a funny one? Obama is a really funny one. Republicans or Democrats. Okay. He's a jokester. Yep. All right, what else am I going to tell you here? There you have it. That's our UFO news for today. A lot of good information there. I don't know, maybe you didn't know all this about Edgar Mitchell. You know, surprising thing, over the weekend I watched the Transformers movie. I want to see what that was all about. They have a very interesting tie-in in the movie. At the beginning of the movie, they show that there's a crash that took place on the moon, and when they go to investigate later, there's this large ship on there. They end up taking a piece of equipment from the ship, but the interesting thing is that the astronauts that went to the moon were Apollo 11, according to this movie, that they went up there after news of this crash took place on the moon, and that's when Kennedy made his announcement and said that we were going to the moon, and then they went to the moon, and then after the public viewing was showed, they were in media blackout while they went on this mission to the ship and gathered this. And Buzz Aldrin was actually in the movie and discussed about being on the moon, him and Armstrong. So it's very interesting how they tied that into the whole storyline. So if you go see the movie, well, sorry if I ruined it for you. It's only the first few minutes, so it shouldn't affect anything else on the outcome for you. All right? That's our UFO news today. Let me jump to a song. I'll be back in just a few moments. Enjoy.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Underground is where they live. In the bases that are secretive. We're not supposed to know where they come from or where they go. And if you ask our leaders today, this is what they will say. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. What's up with their lives? Plausible deniability. That's their answer to all we think we see. So pay attention. Read between the lines. Changes are happening, revealing lies. And if you ask our leaders today, this is what they will say. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. What's up with their lies? Underground, in the basic that are secretive. We're not supposed to know where they come from or where they go. And if you ask our leaders today, this is what they will say. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. What's up?
All right, and I'm back. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, where are we at now here? Next on the agenda, we've got, okay. You heard a little bit that was just mentioned and again during Dirk's broadcast about the New World Order. Well, we're going to start off with a clip that was about the New World Order. Refresh your memory about what was said, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to refresh your memory about some other things that are more patriotic about this country. Okay? So let's start with this. Line this up for you here. Here we go.
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind.
That was President George H.W. Bush using the first Persian Gulf War as a stepping stone for a new world order. But that threat, it still persists today. The U.S. State Department, the Federal Reserve, even the EPA are sending billions of dollars overseas, and many economic and political decisions made in the United States just don't benefit us. They benefit a would-be one-world government. Joining us now is Jack Hunter, columnist for the American Conservative. Jack, this idea has been around for a long time, but it feels like we're getting closer and closer to the realization.
Absolutely. This goes all the way back to Woodrow Wilson, who wanted to make the world safe for democracy, FDR, all the way up through President Bush and Obama, of course, George H.W. Bush, who were finding out his New World Order is getting awfully expensive. I think that's what the American taxpayer is thinking right now.
Jack, I'm inclined to agree. The EPA has revealed that we've sent $100 million overseas, and today they came out rather flipped saying, well, we fight pollution around the world. But does that mean that a pig farmer in America should have money taken from him to help a pig farmer in Thailand?
Absolutely not. And I would go a step further. Why are American citizens having to answer to international institutions and to obey what people who are outside of our Constitution and our government and political traditions, they should be telling American citizens what to do? Let me give you an example of that sort of overreach, that loss of sovereignty we see so often. A number of years ago in the state of Texas, and I don't care what you think about the death penalty, whether you're pro or anti-death penalty, an illegal alien killed someone, and the Texas state justice system decided that that man needed to be put to death. Well, the United Nations decided that since that man was not an American citizen, it could step in and tell the state of Texas what to do. Who sided with the United Nations? You got it. George W. Bush. That's the road we're heading down. We need to have a U.S. Constitution, not a UN Constitution. The loss of sovereignty is something very serious, and we need to keep an eye on it.
Well, it would seem to me maybe go beyond keeping an eye on it. Just think, I mean, here recently, and I want your opinion. It feels to me that we got involved with Libya to help out Europe in some kind of way. Just a week ago, the International Energy Agency says we want to release 60 million barrels of oil. Well, guess what 30 million is coming from? America. Decision after decision after decision seems like it's not only being made to benefit a global world, but is actually being sort of initiated from outside of this country.
Well, that's exactly right. You hear a lot of people on the Republican side, I don't care if it's Marco Rubio in the Senate, Tim Pawlenty here recently running for president, who like to talk about American exceptionalism. Now, when they talk about that, you can assume what we're doing in Libya around the world is in our interest. Well, guess what? Often it is not. It is for the interests of other nations. It's for the interests of global elites. I don't care if they're corporate or government forms. It's in the interest of everybody but the American taxpayer who sends their sons and daughters off to fight these wars and foots the bill with their own money when we are out of money. It makes no sense whatsoever. And those who pretend that we're patriotic, I'm looking at the Republican side there, your Tim Pawlenty's, perhaps a Rick Santorum, who think it's patriotic for us to be in Libya, when 72% of Americans, according to some polls, say that they have no idea why we're there, we shouldn't be doing this so much around the world. Who is our government serving? Us or global elites? It's a good question.
Jack, real quickly, because of the programs like this and just the fiscal conditions that we're in, it feels like there's a greater sense of urgency to get to that one world government. Do you feel like the Obama administration may actually be hitting the gas rather than the brake pedal when it comes to this?
It seems like each president, his predecessor, of course, George W. Bush, government got big in this country. Obama's making government bigger at home. I think the dominant philosophy is that the bigger the government, the better, whether that's in the United States or at the global level. To answer your question, absolutely, I think Obama's got his foot on the gas pedal and is going full speed ahead with taking us towards a global government, and that's been the plan from the beginning. Look, this isn't a conspiracy thing, but the idea, this comes from the progressive left, the liberal internationalists in the Democratic Party, or even the neoconservatives in the GOP, they like the idea of a global government that sort of micromanages everybody, just like the big government people at home like the idea of the huge federal government that micromanages taxpayers. It's the same philosophy at work.
Well, all I can say is buckle up, boys and girls, and hold on to the Constitution. Thank you very much, Jack Hunter. We appreciate it.
All right. So, there you have it. There you have it. New World Order. They've been pushing this for a long while. George W. Bush has been pushing it, and then George H. and then George W. It's all a scam, folks. Now, they're going forward. It's not a scam against them. It's a scam against you, the people of the world. This is not just an American issue anymore. This is a world issue, okay? Because the events they're doing are world events. Now, America, this is very important. And not only America, but the rest of the world. Pay attention. You are under attack by your own governments. Here in the United States, you are under attack, America, from your own government leaders. They are attacking you with weather weapons. It doesn't take a brain surgeon or any kind of a genius to figure that out. All you need to do is watch what is going on. If you spend any amount of time on YouTube looking at the weather, looking at the research that has been done by those who are following the weather and pointing out the things like the rings in the sky and the square patterns and the triangles, and then showing that all of these Earth things are related to events on the Earth or markings on the Earth. In the case of the tornado, the field of antennas that attracted the tornado. So America, you are under attack by your own government, and therefore you need to step up, because you've gotten so far away in this country that this is being allowed to happen. So we're going to start at the very basics right now. The very, very basics. Now, it doesn't matter where you're from. This should apply to you in some degree or another, because you must like freedom, I'm guessing. This is called the Declaration of Independence, and it's a declaration, a document that our founding fathers put out to remind us when we forgot about what they went through? So let me read this to you. In Congress, July 4th, 1776, the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to their separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundations on such principles and organizing powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established shall not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experiences hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. Now, we could take this section right here, this very last line, and we could say the history of the presidents of the United States is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. I would say that we could definitely say from George Bush Sr. on, from the first time he mentioned New World Order, I could say that there has been tyranny in the presidential office in this country. You don't believe it? Well, then you're not paying attention. Then maybe you need to shake yourself and wake yourself up a bit. Your neighbors don't want to believe this? Well, maybe they need to wake themselves up. There is this bad lull of apathy that has gone over this country. And because of that, all of these situations have occurred. Now, folks, you could continue to turn a blind eye to it and think that all is hunky-dory in the world, or you can realize that we are under attack, and thousands of people in the Midwest are being displaced from their homes because of these weather attacks. It sure seems innocent that it's just weather, unless, of course, you're looking at the radar and seeing that this is an attack on the American people by those who should not be attacking the American people. You need to pay attention to these things, folks. And I'm going to read you another bit of information here that you should also know about. This is the Constitution of the United States. This came after the Declaration. This is what they keep changing. Remember in the Declaration it said that these type of changes to governments should not be taken lightly. Do you recall that? Well, there's a lot of changes that have been taken lightly to this Constitution. And your freedoms are dissipating more and more. I can assure you that the freedoms you have today on this 4th of July are not nearly the same freedoms you had 10 years ago on 4th of July. And it's going to continue to change. And unless people stand up, there's going to be more attacks on your country from your government. Unless people are willing to stand up, these false flag events are going to continue to escalate, and they are going to kill many of you Americans. and many of you around the world. Okay, not necessarily a pleasant thought for Independence Day, but guess what? Those founding fathers, which got us to Independence Day, they gave their blood, their sweat, and their tears for this country. So it's time that those of you who are giving no more than lip service to this country, get off the couch, put down your video games, put down all the distractions, and actually take some time and interest in this country and pay attention to what's going on, because you are being attacked right now from your government. And the longer you sit there and allow it to happen, the longer you're going to continue to be suffering under their tyrannical ways. Constitution says, "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, and provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America." Now, there are Bill of Rights that go with this, and a lot of people don't know what these Bill of Rights are. Sad to say, most kids in school these days probably do not even know what these are, because they're not taught about such things. Amendment 1, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. That's amendment number 1. Now, how many times, my friends, have you seen video of these police in their black body armor protecting themselves against the unarmed students who are out peacefully protesting? Yet many times you see these idiots in black outfits abusing the very rights of the people that they should be protecting. According to this here, it says people have the right to peacefully assemble and petition for a redress of grievances. But apparently to some of these black-clad terrorists that are running into streets of America, these things are not allowed. According to the Constitution, it is. We got to stand up for these rights, folks. Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Yet Obama and the administration wants to take away your guns. Constitution says that right shall not be infringed. Hang on to them. Third Amendment, no soldier shall in the time of peace be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in the time of war in a manner to be prescribed, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. Fourth Amendment, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable search and seizure shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable causes supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons and things to be seized. Well, guess what, folks? That has changed. The Patriot Act and other laws have come in to get rid of this Fourth Amendment, so they no longer have to have a reason. They're trying to set it up that if they want to walk into your house, they can do so without any reason whatsoever, completely going against the Fourth Amendment. So far, you've seen that of 4 amendments, they have worked and taken efforts to try to get rid of 3 of them. These are not your friends that are in the government. These are terrorists on American soil. These are those who are enemies to the Declaration and to the Constitution. Therefore, it is our right, it is our duty to report on their illicit activities and do what we can to remove them from power. Anything less is uncivilized. Amendment number 5, no person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land of naval forces or in the militia when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor to be deprived of life, liberty, or property without the due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. And of course, we all know from the stories that are going on that this amendment is being trampled all over and things are being taken away from people. Amendment number 6, in all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the rights to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and the district wherein the crime has been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of his accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have a compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. Thank goodness we still have that ability. We still have juries filled with people that think about what is really going on, and when they bond together and really present themselves in an understanding of the law, good things happen, because the corruption does not last and stand up to the truth that is witnessed from those jury members and those who are paying attention. Seventh Amendment. In suits at common law where the value in controversy shall be exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of the common law. Amendment number 8. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. The other day I watched a video. I saw it posted up at Godlike Productions. In the video, it was police brutality. And I watched this policeman grab a woman who apparently seemed to be a little drunk or out of it, maybe because he hit her in the face with his baton once when she was trying to stop him from hitting anybody else by putting her arms out like, don't hit anybody. He took that as a meaning to hit her, and then later dragged her over and dumped her on her face on the ground. Everybody around there saw that. It was videotaped. That was cruel and unusual punishment that was inflicted upon this woman by someone wearing a badge says he was there to serve and protect. He was not there to serve and protect. He was there to hurt. That's not right. That officer no longer deserves to be a police officer. He should be in jail thinking about his crimes. Yet that's happens all the time. All the time. Amendment number 9. The enumeration of the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. And last, Amendment number 10. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or the people. These, my friends, these are your Bill of Rights. This is your Constitution and your Declaration. And let me remind you, all 3 of these documents were written on paper made from hemp. Now they've made hemp, which they call marijuana now, illegal, and they're getting rid of the Bill of Rights in the Constitution, and they're trying to get away from all of these different ways of looking at things. It's very, very important, my friends, to pay attention. Very important. Now, I hadn't thought that we were going to be going this long on the discussion of the Declaration, but you know what? Very important that we did. And we've come to the end of our show. So what we're going to do is I simply want you to close your eyes and let's just do a quick prayer of peace for this planet, for everyone on it on this 4th of July. Let's send a blessing of love and light around the world to all of those who are out, caught up in the tragedies of life. Let us imagine the hand of justice being dealt to all of those who are causing the problems. and let us just think good thoughts for ourselves, that we do what is necessary to retain our freedoms and independence. As you go out into this world today, my friends, have fun. Enjoy yourself. But remember what this day is about. Good people died defending this country so you can live. Don't let that die because of apathy. Don't let apathy stop all the good that has gone on. Stand up, my friends. It's time to be a patriot. Patriots arise!